Hey, everybody. It is Sonequa Martin-Green. I play Captain Michael Burnham on Star Trek Discovery. And I am here in this Christmas season with the Sci-Fi Sisters. I'm so excited to talk to them. They have been so gracious and so kind to me. And I really look forward to this conversation. And I have so much love for them, so much respect for them. I love what they do, what they represent, what they stand for. So, yeah, I'm excited to get into it. And I hope everybody's having a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Sisters podcast. I'm Tamia Harper, and I'm joined by my sisters, Sabrina Wood.
Whoop, whoop.
Fran T.
What's happening?
And Yvette Blackman-Tom.
Hello.
And we are, okay, I always say that we're super excited to be here with you today, and we are super excited to be here, but it's more than that today. We are in our feelings. There's no other way to put it. We're excited, we're giddy, we're like schoolgirls, and we're anxious, and because we have our reason for being is with us today. She's a special, special woman. You guys have probably heard us tell the story a lot of times, but we're going to tell it again because she's here. You know her from The Walking Dead. I'm sure most of you know her, but in our world, she's Captain Michael Burnham. We have none other than the most wonderful, the most talented, the most humble, and the sweetest person on the face of the earth, Miss Sonequa Martin-Green is with us.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh my gosh, what an intro. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for having me. I feel very blessed to be here.
Thank you. I mean, it's a big deal for us because as we were telling you, before we started, that you are the reason why the Sci-Fi Sisters came into being. And Mike, you and your portrayal of Michael Burnham specifically. And I'm going to let Sabrina and Fran tell the story because it really starts with those two.
Ooh.
Yes, and I'm going to give it to Fran because Fran is the OG, and I'm also the OG. So we started watching Star Trek right from the very beginning in '66, and then 51 years later, right, we get, Star Trek Discovery, and so we were totally flippin' excited, right? And then it started. Here come the emails and the comments and the crappity crap. And what happened, Fran?
Okay, so Sabrina and I are in these groups, and needless to say, we had these people who were negative or not so supportive of what was going on because we noticed it, the commercial, when you and Michelle Yeoh they showed the trailer, and we had the backlash of, a captain and her first officer were women of color. And the show hadn't even started yet, and we were like, oh, wait a minute, we got our work cut out for us. So, of course, me and Sabrina would go into these threads, and like swat them down like flies, because I've had to do that. I got great, because I used to work in the corporate world, which didn't work out well. But I've sat people down with words only, without getting fired. So I went into these threads, Sabrina and I, and we did what we had to do, And I think they thought that just because we were women, we didn't know our stuff. Or we weren't truly Trekkies, Trekkers, whatever. They had no idea what they were up against. They had no idea. So Sabrina and I, we were in there and we would just swap them down like there was nothing, and and
we weren't
have a
having
ball
it.
doing it.
We weren't having it. If the thread got kind of crazy, we were going to snap that stuff right back. But we didn't know each other, Sonequa. Right. I did not know Fran. I did not know Fran. She did not know me, but I noticed that she was doing the same thing I was doing in the comments. And so then we started DMing each other, and we were like, girl, these folks. And so we decided to meet at AwesomeCon here in D.C., and they were going to have a big discovery panel. We were like, oh, boy, we're going to this. We're going to be able to talk about this. And we're going to talk about Sonequa. And so we got there. We meet at AwesomeCon for the first time. It's months after we've been talking on these threads and knocking everybody down. And the show had been on now for a year. And so there we are in D.C. And we finally meet. And we're sitting down. And who comes tripping down the aisle? Want to know if she could sit with us. But Tamia. We never met her. So we're like, yeah, come on, sit. We're going to sit there. We're going to talk about Sonequa. So we're there in the panel, and we talked a little bit about you. We're like, yeah, number one on the call sheet, girlfriend going to be the one. We watched all the show. They started talking about everything else going on, went back to old Star Trek, coming back all around, and we were just getting so angry. We kept raising our hands to speak, and we were getting passed over. They were asking the other person, and we came out of that panel, and I remember saying, this will never happen to us again.
Let me tell you, we came out of that panel. There was a whole room full of Black women. That the only reason that they were in this room was to talk about you, and to talk about what was so momentous to us that we had a Black woman as a lead, of a Star Trek series, and anchoring, not just a lead of a Star Trek series, but anchoring the streaming service. This was the show that everybody was going to either bring people into Paramount Plus or at that time CBS All Access or not. This was big stuff. And these folks, and it was just racism in action. And these were by our quote unquote allies, right? Like we're going to talk about all this, which there's so much to discuss in Discovery. However, what really made us mad was that every Black woman got skipped over for a question. They went to, and we watched them look us in the eye and skip over us. And we said, not again. And I said, we came out of that thing and I was like, we need to do a podcast because we could do this better.
We gotta get our own stuff. We need our own platform.
We just need to do our own voice, because I'm not going to sit around and ask you all the time to be included at your table. Right. If you don't want me, I don't need you. We make our own. And that is how we got started.
Yep. So we started with a little Facebook page. We had a little Facebook page. We were like, we're going to talk about Star Trek, and we're going to talk about Sonequa, and it's just going to be blackity black all the time over here. And if you want to be here, fine. If you don't want to be here, get going.
Right.
But that's what we're talking about. You want to be white and talk blackity black? Come on.
Yes.
But that's what's going to happen.
That's what's happening. That's why I always say, what's happening? So we got started, and we had the first podcast we did, I think we had 6 people listen to us, and I think all of them had a last name that was the same as one of ours. So, and we just kept on going, and then it was just crazy.
And it's been growing from there.
Yeah. Anyway, and now we get to you.
Yay!
But that is obviously it's no small thing, but I've really been, I'm definitely gonna cry. Okay. I'm gonna try to hold it as long as I can, but I've been learning the hard lessons about activism. And you essentially, it's the front lines of the battlefield is what it is. And you either are going to choose to be up there or not, and some people don't, and that's fine. But what you did, activism can look so many ways. It can manifest in so many different forms, is what I'm learning. And so that really inspires me that y'all saw a need and supplied it yourselves. And speaking of that link linked arm, sense that I get. It's that, but that in and of itself that's a hard decision to make. Not everybody makes a decision where they go, oh, we're being skipped over. This is never going to happen again. Let's just do it ourselves. A lot of us don't have the courage, the time, the energy, some don't even have the desire. And, this isn't to disparage anybody and where they are in their journey as a Black person,
right,
and
right.
as a Black person in this country, and especially as a Black woman in this country. I'm not trying to do that by any means. I'm just saying what you did that's huge. And I thank you. I personally thank you for doing it and for teaching, because you're leading by example too, right? It blows back on me also, because I hear about this and then I get all these, I get all these sort of like I feel ignited.
Wow. Yeah. Because, it's really something, because Star Trek is a franchise that, as I said, I started watching this when I was 10. I've seen every single TV series, show, episode, movie, and cartoon that there is.
Wow.
So, and when you have a series, when you have something where you make an icon out of somebody like Nichelle Nichols, and you go back and forth and you say, wow, this is it, this is what Star Trek is, we're so cool, we're so bad, we did this first, and then you follow with nothing. You come up with another series and there's no Black female on that bridge. You come up with another series, no Black female. You give me Deep Space Nine. Thank you, Jesus. You gave me Deep Space Nine. But, we had Penny. But
Avery Brooks. I'm sorry.
But we didn't have a Black female bridge officer, which was what we had with Uhura, until we get you. And it was a big flipping deal, and we wanted everybody to make sure they understood it, because they were talking it but they weren't walking it. Not until you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, have you or in what ways maybe have you seen like the power of the impact of the representation that you're giving right now? I mean, like, I'm sure you've seen it in lots of ways, but
yeah. I appreciate that question, because to be brutally honest, I think the impact of it is still opening up to me. It's still being revealed to me. I had no idea taking this on was going to mature me in the way that it has. For the longest time, in the very beginning, now I come, as I think y'all know, I come from the South.
Yep.
And that has so much to do with how I see the world.
Yep.
And, yeah. And so there was a little bit of, there was some unworthiness I had to work through in the beginning that blinded me to a lot of things. It blinded me to the impact of Trek, and of Burnham. Because all I could think about was doing it right. And I've talked about this quite a bit in press, but I'm still there. So it's still the truth for me. But I thought I had to be perfect. And I thought that was the only way I could earn my position that I found myself in, right? Which I know God gave me. That's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, God gave me this, period. But I thought for so long that in order to do it justice, in order to do the character justice, in order to do the franchise justice, in order to do the Black community justice, and Nichelle and Avery and Whoopi and everybody, I had to be perfect. And so I was like this for so long. Like, I can do this. It's got to be perfect. I can't make any mistakes. I got to make sure that I got to be strong. I got to be this. I got to be that. I got to do it for the people. I got to do it for my ancestors. I got to do it for my mother. I got to do it for my daughter. I got to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And just like straining, and God's grace allowed you know, any kind of truth in life and authenticity to shine through all of that. But it was the case for a long time. And then I was even, and I've never said this in public, but I took it out on Burnham, and I didn't mean to do that. But I refuse. It's like for the first couple of seasons, at least, I struggled with how to be a human being because she needed to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because she is the first Black lead captain, right? And it's like I made a subconscious decision. I made a vow to myself subconsciously that you're going to love her. You're not just going to love her, but you're going to respect her because, you know, like she deserves it. And so there were issues, there were obviously issues in Burnham's life in the story, and I couldn't see them fully because I was like, nope. It's almost like I didn't want her to have any flaws.
Right.
Because I didn't want to give anybody extra reasons to not accept her. Because I had already gotten all that backlash.
Right.
People had already let me know how mad they was.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I mean, that was before we started shooting. That was just
I know.
before we started shooting.
That's those same ones that were crying over this mermaid.
Oh, yeah, the same one. The mermaid and what else were they crying over? Oh, the Lord of the Rings.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
You name it. It's like that is just a lot in life. We are not in the future. These people do not want us to get there.
They don't want. It's like even. I mean, wow. They. If there's any place that we could live comfortably, it should be fantasy. It should be sci-fi fantasy. Sci-fi fantasy has always provided some of the most well-rounded roles for people of color and for color. But they're upset. They're like, no, I definitely don't want you in my fantasies.
Not those kind.
Not those kind.
Not those kind.
Exactly. Right. A whole other thing, right? But I had to, and so it's been this beautiful awakening, right? It's been this beautiful settling down. It's been this beautiful sort of peeling of the onion where I go, oh, wow. Burnham, I as Burnham need only be. And I can tell my story as Burnham more authentically and more fully and more richly if I let Burnham just be human, if I just let myself slip and trip and fall and figure it out and just be a confident Black woman figuring it out. Figuring out how to save this world over and over and over. And I found it to be so liberating, and I really praise God for it because you could really. It started in season 4 because I had just given birth to my daughter, which changed so much for me as a Black woman. When I suddenly had a little Black woman.
Different, ain't it?
Yeah, it's different than my son.
It's
you know,
different.
and so that
hits
season
different.
4, season 4, it was a lot of subtle. It was you could see it. You can almost see it. Maybe you can now that you know some of what I was going through at the time. But like, there's a settling that happens in season 4, and that's also because of the captaincy as well.
Yes.
And then even more so in season 5, which we just wrapped. I don't know what the air date is going to be yet. I hope the spring, but we just wrapped about a month ago. So yeah, I find that with the impact I went a long way around your question, but to go back to your question, I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I'm good.
I think the biggest thing it's actually not the billboards, right? Because those are still crazy to see. You just like look up and you're like, for real? What? You know, but it's really in the one-on-one interaction. that I have. It's not so much the comments on social media. Those are amazing as well. But it's really the one-on-ones that I get to have at conventions, in public, at random places. But that's where I've seen the most impact. It's exchanges and encounters, heart-to-heart encounters like this one, where people tell me what has happened in their lives or how they've processed, Burnham, and how it has helped them. Like the young women I've spoken to who have set on their track in STEM because of Burnham, or because, or are now they're actually gonna go get their masters because of Burnham. Or what, I stood up. One woman told me at a con one time, I forget what city. She said, I stood up for myself at work today because I thought of Burnham, and I thought of, I said, if she can do it, I can. And it's that's where I see it. That's where it hits me the most. Because then I'm like, shoot, this is real, huh?
It's so funny because I was looking at all of the episodes before talking to you, so give me a reason to rewatch everything. And I said, season 1, you're like, figure it all out, Michael, and season 2, you're I'm here for everybody, Michael.
Yeah.
Season 3, you're I've got to prove something, Michael, and season 4, you were really F around and find out, Michael. And I cannot wait for season 5. 'Cause
season 5 is you're going to learn today, Michael.
Yes. I think I'm going to like this, Michael.
Yeah,
know, right?
It all fits. Everything you just said all fits with what we saw.
Oh, that's so good to hear. That's that art imitating life imitating art, sort of like spiritual circle that happens, right? That's really beautiful.
I was thinking about as you were talking about that too, especially like season 1, Michael, I could see her, she had to be more Vulcan than Vulcan all the time, and I get that. I was a kid that was raised around a bunch of white folks, like went to white schools and and that pressure of, being the only one or one of the only ones all the time. You got to be more perfect than everybody else. I saw so much of myself in Michael there in that part, and I mean, it was just amazing, even to the personal expressions of the rigidity with which she held herself, and the sharpness of the haircut, and all of it. It was just like, okay, I'm going to walk this walk, and I'm going to do this, and you're not going to have a thing to complain about for me, and that's, I felt that so much in my life. I did that for a long time until I was like, you know what? I don't think I can do this anymore. I think I got to be what to me is feeling something really different inside. And I think I got to express that. So, in my teen years. Yeah.
And I was just the opposite. I was born and raised in the South in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia to be specific. And I didn't go to school with white people until I was in the 10th grade. So elementary school, junior high school, they were all Black. So I have that supportive thing. The only thing that, that I do remember saying, my elders saying to me, and the teachers and stuff who cared so much for us and taught us so well, that we have to do something 10 times better to be considered equal. I remember hearing that as a child. And this was in the early 60s. So when I looked up and I saw Miss Nichols on the screen as a 11-year-old, and she wasn't in a subservient mode, I didn't know what that word meant then. But anyway, I was like thrilled because I knew she was going to be on TV, and my sci-fi sisters, because I read it somewhere, but it probably was in the Jet, because they had all the Black people in the Jet every week. Will be on TV, and I knew I had read it somewhere, but I couldn't remember where I read it. But I knew that I was going to get my grandmama to look at the show because the colored lady was on there, and we looked at it, and we centered her. I always centered her all the time because she was Miss Nichols. And she was intelligent, and they listened to her. And I was all of 11 years old from the South.
Wow. Oh, look at that.
So when she passed away, my daughter, who knows, I was in New York City at a Trekkie thing. My daughter said, "Oh my gosh, I need to call my mama, cause
Oh.
and when I answered, to see if I was all right, and I really wasn't, but I got through, and I appreciate her calling me, and we talked and everything, and she listened to everything I had to say, and so with you being who you are and seeing who you are, and I don't know if you remember this, I know I said this before, at the season New York premiere, there was a lady that stood up and said, I've been waiting 50 years for this. That was me. And Anson ran up the steps and hugged me and everything. That was me, because I have been waiting over 50 years for you. Mm-hmm. I have. So, when Sabrina and I were in those threads and just swapping them like flies, and like, no, y'all ain't gonna do this. Y'all can forget this crap. No, it ain't gonna happen.
Not today.
No. Not today.
Not today. Not tomorrow. Not ever. Because Sonequa is ours. Mm-hmm. Y'all not gonna do this.
This is our trip.
She's ours. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, ma'am.
Don't cry.
Oh.
So I'm gonna cheer you up, Sonequa. We did an episode that basically was telling everybody that Sonequa was really Jim Kirk.
Right.
Not Sonequa, Michael.
But now we're hearing that Michael is really Sonequa, so I don't know.
Right.
So we had an episode that was called "Is Michael really just kirking it up?"
Yes.
And we came up with all these ways that you really, as Burnham, was really Jim Kirk. And we proved it to everybody. We were like, look, I don't know why you all are just getting all crazy about this. You're from the same time, essentially.
Yep.
Cowboy diplomacy. You both went to the Mirror Universe. You both talked to the Guardian of Forever. And when you got to the Mirror Universe, you found out that something else was happening that you didn't even know about. I mean, listen. I mean, you both had brotherly influences on Spock. Yep. It just goes on and on. We were like, Burnham is Kirk. What is wrong with you people?
Yes,
oh my goodness! That I never realized that there were all those parallels. I've heard the Kirk Burnham. I've heard that comparison drawn, but I haven't heard those reasons. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think too what you said. I got to circle back to what you said to me about growing up. The way you grew up, I grew up in a similar way. And I think with Burnham, the thing that was, yes, art is definitely imitating life and the other way around too. But the specificity of Burnham's struggle was, I'm trying to, in order to be Vulcan, I've got to deny myself at every turn.
Right. Right.
I have to, whatever instinct, whatever impulse comes up that is truly me as Burnham, I got to shut it down because it's human.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So no. I got to be Vulcan. And to live a life that way, which is like the sort of the negative side of assimilation, or like the most negative version of assimilation is that where you lose self completely. Right. And that's what happened with Burnham. And so then in season 2, it was like a floodgate. It's like, no, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm saying, I can't do this. And what am I doing it for anyway? I'm doing it for my dad who lied to me about, like it wasn't because I wasn't good enough. It's because you chose Spock to go and not me. And then you dropped me off at the Shinjo,
Right.
So it's like, this is your fault actually. But so it's been
Sarah.
beautiful. Yeah, right. Dad. I know he's crazy, but we had a good goodbye. We had a good goodbye before I left him for the future. But yeah, I think that it's so beautiful because it isn't the same. Now, I don't use my own life for Burnham. Like, Burnham is completely like my imagination from the story, but it has been healing to me doing it because it's been that gradual acceptance of self. It's like that's one of the big umbrella sort of cornerstones, I would say, about Burnham is that gradual acceptance of self. And it's really exciting because we go into that even more in season 5. So I'm curious if there's going to be, I think there's going to be more comparisons to her.
Yes.
season 5.
Oh,
That's
we're
what's
here
up.
for it.
Yes. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another big part of Burnham's story that we as the sisters just love. And that's the Book and Burnham story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's exactly. Not just because it's like, oh, you know, finally like Burnham gets a partner, you know, but no, because it's Black love. It's Black love, baby. And then Burnham gets to show so much Black love. I mean, for her mama, you know, you know, for book, like, it's just beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. I wholeheartedly agree. And from the very beginning, now I love Burnham and Ash, like and Tyler. You know, like they were tortured together, and they needed each other. And, you know, it was very it was a lot. It was a lot with the two of them, but they did their best, right? So I appreciate that story.
Good.
But when I knew that more love was coming, I went to, because this was before I was a producer. I went to the producers and I was like, hey, this love interest needs to be Black.
Yep.
Nice. Thank you. I
said he needs to be Black, and if possible, really chocolate.
Really?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I want like Black on Black, blackety black, right?
That's right.
This thing is that the producers were already there. They were like, oh, yeah, that's the plan. Absolutely. That's the plan, you know.
I like it.
And David Ajala is so brilliant. He is brilliant. He gets on my nerves sometimes. He's a clown too. But he's brilliant. And I love what he has done for Burnham in the story, because season 3 was really that self-actualization, because I thought it was genius the way they did it. I thought it was genius that they took us to 3188, number one, so that we could establish our own identity. And then the fact that they let Burnham be alone for a year, because in that year, it was just shedding skin, shedding other people's expectations, shedding the need for approval, shedding like a lot of it. And as we all know, it's a process. So it's still going to be happening over the course of the series, but a lot of it was done in that year. And I detailed that year for myself, because of course you don't see it. The audience never sees that year. Not really. You see that little bit of that little montage at the beginning of season 3, but I detailed every day of that year, or at least like there were some days that were cornerstone days or like major event days. And then I would be like, and then for the next 2 months, this happened, or for the next month, this happened. Like a big one was when I knew I wouldn't be able to find my mom. Like that was a big day. Another day was just deciding like, okay, I can't wait for Discovery anymore. They're gone.
Yeah.
So now who am I? What do I do? And Book was right there as this like self-motivated, resilient, like lone warrior, right? Who showed me like, you can be that person that you want to be, that hero. Every day is an opportunity. You can be that hero on your own terms and by your own standards. And he was an example of that. And it was intoxicating, and it was liberating and innovating and all of that. And then slam, here comes like duty and boxes again, which is why there was such a struggle to get back into the Federation and back into Starfleet. I love what they did with that story, and Book sort of becomes this balloon in a way, or like a kite. Like he kind of like lifts, Burnham up a little bit out of the strain, and into the open air. And I really, really love that they did that. That you have that sort of freedom in that Black love. So it's not just the Black love, but it's also like, it's freeing and life-giving. I love that.
Extremely affirmative.
And and the true friendship.
Yeah.
The friendship.
Yeah. That mutual respect too.
Yes.
Well, shout out
really
to
powerful to see in a Black relationship,
I want to shout out to David Ajala, because when we were in Chicago, he was just lovely to us. He gave us his banner, and he signed it.
Yeah.
And he gave it to us because he said he might not be able to come on the show, but he wanted to make sure we had this banner. We could put it in the background so everybody could see it when we do the show.
Oh, nice.
But I just wanted to shout him out for that, because I don't think we ever mentioned that before. So since we were talking about
him. That's dope.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a courageous actor too, because he also brings in everybody brings in such a special element to the show. I mean, I think that's one of the main reasons why it's such lightning in a bottle, because the actors are so their brilliance is so specific to them, right? And so for him, he's like this renegade, right? But he brings it into his work. And so the way he makes choices is kind of wild as well, but courageous. And so I feel like we both feel this way, and we say it to each other all the time, but it's like we really do get lost in the story, because he just will jump. And that's all I do is jump. So I'm like, yo, let's jump like together. And it's great. And I think, I think it's really made for some interesting moments in the story, because he's also the first time that I've improv'd on the show. He and we don't improv a lot, but we do from time to time. And I think that's indicative of the two of them, that freedom that I was talking about. And they let us do it. Like sometimes, like Alatunde Ashinsami, he's one of our executive producers and our producing director. And he always directs the premieres and the finales. Yeah. But he is notorious for it. He'll be like, okay. He'll be like, now on this next one, y'all just go. Just there we go, and then we're like, real? It's great. We have a good time. That's a little inside info. I've
That's
never
so cool.
There's so many little times when you two seem to have this like your own little language where you just say one word and the other one knows exactly what they're gonna do.
Oh yeah. The chemistry is
like
real.
a real couple.
Yeah. Shout out to David Ajala. That's my brother.
David,
brother. We
love you, David. David, if you're listening,
and we know
you are.
Sci-Fi Sisters love you, baby.
That's right. And he's fine. Can I get that in there? He's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Because Fran and I, we had a little tip about Ash because we went.
We did.
Oh yeah, okay.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah.
You had a tip?
Yeah, I said Ash was mine. Yeah. She said Ash was hers, and then, we were singing Brandy and Monica to each other. It was bad.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Shazad is another brilliant one, by the way. I love him.
He was.
He is so sweet and funny, and just he's also a clown. I'm a clown too. A lot of Mary Wiseman is the biggest clown. He is such a clown. Everybody's a clown, honestly. Now that I think
we love the whole crew is just really wonderful. Like I'm like saying, we get a new Star Trek show and you're always wondering, like, what are they going to be like? Are we going to like these characters? And we love them. I can't wait to continue to learn more about the rest of the bridge crew.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for their stories to unfold. And I know it's grueling on you guys, but honestly, I miss like the 20-something episode season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like watching one season of DS9, and I was like, I look at how many stories I got in this one season. It was amazing, but
Right.
but you guys do something totally different. So,
True. Yeah. We're shooting a movie every, 10 to 12 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
And I love the fact that you and Wiseman, the two characters, you all are friends and supportive, because a lot of times when two women are on there, they either at each other's throats or just talking about the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You all are not like, I love that. I put a picture up there. It was like the first season. And I say, and those two ladies are friends, guys. They are friends. So
that is a good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It was the same with me and Michelle, with Burnham and Georgiou. Even though we had and even so, Prime Georgiou, of course, was like a really solid, relationship. And I adore Michelle. She is the most graceful, living legend in the making that you'll ever meet. But especially with Mirror Georgiou, though, I love how they were able to weave in like this conflict between them, but this great love and respect.
Yeah.
I feel like there were so many traps that they could have fallen in with these women of color and these women, and they didn't. They just refused to fall into these traps. I love Burnham's relationship with her mom, like y'all were saying before. Sonia, talking about a legend in the making.
Right.
So I love that. I have not had to go to them at any point with something that didn't speak to me. As a Black woman, right? Like there obviously, let me be even clearer. There have been little things here and there. Of course, there's going to be little things where it's like, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. But I'm a yes actor. Like I say yes 1, 2, 3 times because that's where discoveries are made. Yeah. And then after all of that, if I still can't find it, if it still doesn't ring true, then it's time to discuss it and see what we can do, see how we can, change it. But I have not had anything like big that I've had to come to that really bothered me. Right. And I think that there's something to be said about that because they watch me, of course, and I inform them and then they inform me. That's a circle too. But I marvel at it sometimes. I step back and I go, I really feel like we're doing a good job. Telling this story because you have this Black woman who is a leader outright, not because she's angry, because she's a true leader. And that really makes me cry when I think about that, especially when I think about the girls. It's like, this is what true leadership looks like. As Jesus says it, like the greatest leader is the greatest servant. And I feel like I'm constantly serving. I'm constantly sacrificing myself as the leader in some way. And I appreciate that even more than being a genius. As Burnham, which I think is important.
Yeah.
Very.
But I love the fact that she's most times the smartest one in the room. Yeah. I love that fact.
Girl, you just said so much in there. I'm like, I gotta sit with this for a minute.
Yeah.
That was some gumbo. That was some really good gumbo.
So what you said is I'm just listening to you because these are the things that I've raised the things you were saying. That I have 3 daughters, so this is what I've raised them on. They're very intelligent, but it's you have to be that leader. and you have to be a good leader, an action leader. You have to be a moral leader. You have to be a servant. You have to be good in your community to be a, I don't even know how to put it. The way you said it was great, because I was like, wow, I think this is what I'm trying to get through to my children. And hopefully I have. And that's why I said to you before, I'm so glad that they look up to you, because they need these people in their life, or just to look at, to say, you know what, I'm doing the best. I'm doing the good job. I'm doing the good work, you know, and this is, okay, this is how, look, I'm doing this. This is me. I'm doing it. And just like Tamia said, you know, we grew up in a time, like I'm always the only Black, you know, and everything I've done, most in my career, you know, just lately, I'm seeing more Black women. There's always 8 of us. Like one will leave, and then you get one more. And it's never, it's always 8, you know? So, but I think what you were saying about leadership, being a good leader is knowing how to serve. And that point right there, it just, I hopefully this is what my children are getting. Hopefully I've said that right, you know, because this is what I want from them. I want them to be out there in the world being good leaders, but serving not even their people, but serving the world, even just serving themselves right. You know what I mean? I guess it just hit me. Yeah, right. Like, it just hit me the way she was saying. I had to, like you said, I had to marinate in that gumbo right there.
Yo, and I mean, if I may say, I really have no leg to stand on to say this, but I just feel like I should. I feel like with how important it is to you, they gotta have it. There's no way they can't, because it's like water. It has to flow, and it's flowing from you to them. I think they got it already. I don't see how they couldn't, you know?
Yeah.
And I tell them that I love them, please, and that I love everything that they are.
Thank you. I will. I'll definitely tell
phenomenal.
them that.
Yeah, you're right about that. Her daughters are amazing human beings, all unique beautiful, in their smart, own ways, and cool. And gracious and humble, and but knowledgeable of themselves at the same time. I mean, they're just really wonderful young women.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, they're dope.
Yeah.
They're dope. You know, like there's just there's no other way to put it. They're dope, and and I'm terrified of them, and they will rule the world one day, because that is their plan. They're all brilliant. Like they're all amazingly brilliant. I'm like, okay, here we go.
I do worry about this world and them. They, you know, because I don't want the world to eat them up. You know, I worry about that. And when you were saying, you know, having a daughter is so different. It makes you a different person having a daughter. I only have daughters. And you, right, Fran? Because you have another Black, you brought another Black woman in this world, and you know what they have to deal with, you know, and you know, and they're good people. And I just I worry about this world just eating them up. You know, I worry about that daily. You know,
well, the world is effed up, right? I mean, I think I think we all as parents feel that way. I think that's a justifiable concern, but I think that when they have that solid foundation at home, nothing can stand. And not forever.
Right. There you go. Not forever. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, our parents were saying the same thing.
Yeah.
With us, you know, and they were terrified, and the world was changing so rapidly, and they were terrified too. And you know, but you done good.
No, I didn't mean to bring it off on, but I was just listening to what you were saying, and I was like, ooh, wow. And this,
this is part of it.
Yeah.
You know, we went to last week. This is completely off topic, but not. Was it last week? We went to the National African American Museum and Culture, Museum of Art and Culture.
Yeah.
In DC?
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
here in DC. Sabrina is out in Maryland,
just outside of
close.
DC.
Yeah, Fran is down in Virginia, and Yvette is in New York. And we went, and I've been there. This was my second trip there, and I'm just thinking, it affects you. It's the gift that keeps on giving, right? You go there, and then a week later you go, gosh, I saw that, and this is what it means to have gone through that. And I'm just thinking about this moment in time, just to look at, like, when you go to that museum and you start on the bottom floor and you're coming up through slavery, and then to have this beautiful moment of time where, it's like Benny Russell, the dreamer in the dream. And we're sitting here talking to the captain of the starship now, and we saw like on the walls, they have, all these little etchings, these tiny etchings, like starting up from even like around the slave ships. They have all the names of the slave ships and like what years they were in commission and stuff. And then you go to another part and they have all these names of slaves, the ads that people placed for the slaves. And it would say the slave's name, the person's name, their age, and how much they were selling for, and a little description about them. And this is like all literally breathing through the walls as you go through this place. Yeah. And it gets so heavy, right? We're just like, first of all, it's the knowledge of, oh my God, I'm here. Like, I'm here. They didn't die. Right. They didn't kill us. Like, I exist today because of these people, right? They're there. And then it comes with the realization that I'm not just here, I'm thriving. Like, I truly am soaring in so many ways. And I'm a miracle every day, a miracle and a triumph every day, because these people didn't kill me. Right. And not only that, because I have Michael Burnham and Benny Russell and Cisco in the stars, right? I had Octavia Butler to tell me that I am Earthseed, and our destiny is to take root among the stars, and I mean, and it's just a beautiful moment. It's kind of a paradox. I have no question in here. I'm just feeling the impact of the beauty of it, the continuity from one moment to another. And I do have to give a shout out to my girl, Fatima. One of the names on the wall in the etching, you see, like, Jim Bob, 18, strapping, works hard, does this, does that, $200. Like, Eliza May, 14, does this, $98. And then you see, like, oh, somebody's weak, and they, and then you see, and I have a picture of it. I took a picture, it says Fatima, 40, does nothing.
Oh,
that's my girl right there. That's my girl, Fatima.
Yeah, Fatima.
Yes.
40 years.
Fatima gets passive resistance.
Fatima was like, look.
I said, Fatima, showing up passive
Fatima's
resistance.
the most gangster of them all.
Thank you.
Make it that far?
How did she make it to 40? Because she had to have been whipped like crazy.
That's right, 40. Does
she made
nothing.
It to 40.
Wow. He said deuces.
Yo, she cracked the code. She cracked the code.
Tima said, no, I'm not cooperating with this today.
I'm not. Actually, I'm not going to cooperate any day.
Any day. 40.
I do nothing.
That's 40.
Wow. She figured something out.
She was doing something.
She sure enough did.
Right.
The ingenuity, right? Man.
And then
have that white man write it down in the ledger.
In the ledger.
In the records.
Does nothing.
And you know what? We're gonna put it up on the wall forever, in perpetuity. Fatima.
Oh my goodness.
Bless you, my sister.
Yep.
We peep the game all these decades later, sister. We peep the game.
Fatima.
My sisters are probably, this is really off topic too, but my sisters are going to jump all over me for this. my favorite show besides Trek, anything Trek, is Law and Order: Criminal Intent. And when I first saw you, I said, I know her. And the lacrosse player who kicked behind in that episode and told your bougie daddy off. I said, that is her. I said, that's her. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I still have
my black member on that team, too. You on a black member on that team, but y'all kick butt. Literally kick butt.
That's true. We literally did.
Yes, you did.
She got us looking for this episode, man.
Like, oh, wow. Gosh. That's crazy. That was...
I have to put that in the notes.
You from the east side? She said, okay, wait a minute. Hold up. Let me pull you into something.
That was my very first TV anything.
Wow, really? Was it?
Because I had done a movie, but that was my first. That was my first experience with TV. Was that episode?
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
But the
That's
thing
crazy.
is,
Look it up, Sistas.
the first time I saw you was on Once Upon a Time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
yes, and I remember even then saying, like, who is this sister? Because she is bringing this mess. She's gonna mess with Pinocchio. Oh, Pinocchio, you're in trouble. But I was fascinated, and I was so excited when you got to, The Walking Dead. Even though I don't do zombies, I couldn't really watch you there. But I'm sorry. But I was excited you were there. But when I heard that you were gonna do Star Trek, I said, "Oh my God, that's the sister." Looked like Fran. The first time somebody sees you act, it's like you remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a
I watched Space Jam 2 because of you. Girl, I was like, okay, where's Sonequa? I'm like, oh, there she is. Okay. All right, now where's Sonequa again?
Oh, there she is. All right, bye, y'all.
so kind. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
I was like, baby,
this reminds me. I love talking about this because I feel like I continue to find people who think otherwise. But Once Upon a Time, I thought was going to be my show.
Oh.
So this has happened twice. So I booked Once Upon a Time, and I had already booked. I was already on Walking Dead, but I was just supposed to do. Sasha was only supposed to be 5 episodes.
Oh, wow.
And that's it. And then they picked it up. They picked me up basically. And they were like, actually, we want you to stay on the show. And Once Upon a Time had to get rid of me quickly because they thought, just like I thought, I was going to be on that show for a while. Okay. So then they had to wrap me up real quick, have Rumpelstiltskin, pull out my heart and
girl. Oh my God.
Right. So that I could go to Walking Dead. And then when Walking Dead was ending, we had probably about 2 or 3 months left of season 7. Mm-hmm. And I found out that Star Trek was coming back to TV and that it was going to be on a digitally streaming platform, mm-hmm. and that it was going to be serialized. And we were going to remember what happened yesterday. So it was going to be like gritty or grittier, I should say. Hey. So people think that I left Walking Dead for Discovery, but that's not how it happened. God worked it out where as soon as I finished I was shooting my last couple of episodes as Sasha when I was sending in my audition tapes for Discovery.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then I finished Walking Dead, and then they went away from me for Discovery because they were wanting Discovery, like you said at the top of this, to launch CBS All Access. Mm-hmm. So they were behind in the production schedule, so they moved away from me, and they were like, "We can't take any more delays." And I was like, "Well, I got to finish Walking Dead," and they were like, "Oh, well," and so we parted ways. And then probably 2 months later, they came back and they were like, yeah, it's you. There's nobody else. It's you.
It's you.
Trying to tell them.
Yeah. And then I
Wow.
literally, like, I found out and we started shooting like 3 weeks later. Like, it was such a quick turnaround, and I wasn't a Trekkie or a Trekkie. And was like, what is this world? What have I found myself? What have I landed in? Like, what's happening? It was crazy there for a minute. I was like, God, what are you doing? You're not yourself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So now, have you watched any other Treks since?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was swallowing it. Like, at the time, I thought, y'all, this is what's so funny. I thought I could watch everything.
Oh.
In like 3 weeks.
Oh Lord, girl, now.
Okay.
And I tried, and then it was laughable because I was like, "What was I thinking? There is no way I'm gonna be able to do all of this before we start shooting." I was playing it in my sleep. I was just trying to, like, you know what I mean? Like, get it in. But now I've seen a lot of it now, and I still have more to see, I feel like it's such a, it's like this well of, it seems like it's never ending.
It is.
There's so much amazing content. Like, there's so much to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Before we go, y'all, because I'm sure that I've kept y'all. But I have a question for y'all. Let me say real quick before I ask this question, Fran, thank you for sharing your story about your upbringing. That is particularly moving to me, because your upbringing is similar to my mom's, who is now with the Lord, but growing up in Alabama, she was born in 50. Mm-hmm. So she and my father, who is also with the Lord, they went through all of it. Like, they went through the segregation and going in the back door and the colored water fountain and all of that. That was like their life.
That was just before me. But I do remember, not to cut across, but this is what I do remember. I remember getting on the bus with my guardian at the time, and I was like maybe 4 or 5, and her actually saying to me, when you get on the bus, always go to the back. I remember her saying that to me.
Wow.
So, it was just before, the people ahead of me broke their doors down, but I'm from Virginia, okay?
Yeah, we're from the same place, essentially. Like my daddy's daddy, told him, like, when he was a kid, never look a white man in the eye, and there were still establishments in my hometown that, like, you don't really go inside. You get your food on the outside and you drive away. You don't really go inside. There were places like that in my hometown and in neighboring cities. There was a city, I won't say the name of it, but there was a city probably about an hour away from my hometown where you could not go. And we all knew it. They told you they were like, do not go to that town.
Beyond sunset.
And definitely don't go by yourself.
Right.
So I never set foot in that town. Anyway, it was all... Thank you for sharing.
We had sections of Boston that were sort of like that.
Yeah.
I'm from Boston, and you know which part of the town not to tread, and some places were sunset, and some places were don't ever go. But
wow.
Yeah. So I came up through Boston busing and desegregating the schools in Boston, so it wasn't any picnic up there either.
No, Boston is terrible. You always
you know what?
Like, stories about.
I am gonna let them. I'm not gonna let you trash Boston like that. But yeah,
no, I'll do it for.
I mean, as far as that goes,
it's got a bad rep. It's got a bad rep. But right now, you know,
like,
got a black governor. We got
I was never
now. We are our ancestors' dreams sitting right here, are we not?
Yes, we are. Yep, exactly.
That's the reality of the situation. I was gonna ask, like, well, I mean, I have so many questions, so I gotta boil it down to one. But like, what? As far as the representation, like of a Black woman, like we're coming from that angle. What would the four of you like to see what would you like to see from this point in Discovery? As it relates
planet.
to, what'd you say, a Black planet?
A Black planet.
Yeah, not stereotypical, just a bunch of Black people. Yeah.
I mean,
just some Black folks.
Just some Black
the
folks
aliens are always white aliens. I'm like, where's the planet? They could be alien, but everybody's Black.
Right.
Just once.
I like that.
I want to see a Black mother. I want to see some Black mothers. I want to see more mothers, but especially, you know, Black leadership. Like if Michael had a baby or somebody that was in a leadership role I'm just saying, if somebody in a leadership role have a child, because that's a whole different dynamic. And I would like to see that. I would like to see that any woman, but definitely a Black woman, because that's a whole different dynamic right there. But even in the future, I'm sure it's different. So, but I would love to see that, you know, more moms.
I want to see Owo as chief of security.
Oh,
that's what I would. She would be great as chief of security.
Yes,
but she would take her off the bridge. So I'm kind of got mixed feelings about that.
I want to see friendships between Black women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I want to see, you know, positive, you know, real life friendships. You know, there's so many of us that, you know, they look on the television, you see the Real Housewife of this, or you see, you know, Caddy Nation this and Caddy that, you know, like, you know, real women talking about real stuff and being supportive of one another, you know, like we always are every day, but you wouldn't know it if you had to rely on media.
Yeah.
You know,
you wouldn't know it if you had to rely on media. Oh my gosh. That's the statement of the day right there. That applies to a lot of things. But no, I really hear that. I take all of this to heart, and you know, I'm constantly having conversations. I stepped up as producer at the beginning of season 4, and I didn't know what it meant.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, we saw that.
We saw that.
We saw that.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I didn't know what it meant. And I didn't know, because like you hear it, I don't know, like all I had ever heard was actors taking on that role, but in a sort of just formal way on paper, or, you know, and not really applying it. Those were the stories I heard. I didn't see that. I haven't had that experience for myself watching someone do that, but I love that. I love hearing, thank you for sharing, because this is how it works, right? Because then I wanted to ask in particular because I can take it and I can see what I can do with it. You know what I mean? And I don't know what that's going to be, but I am at least going to take it, you know what I'm saying? And do something with it. And that's really, that's art imitating life right there. And that's us linking arms and being like, so what do we need to do here? It's a question that I ponder every single day. It's like, what do I do beyond set? What do I do beyond, you know, between action and cut? Right. What do I do in Nichelle's memory? You know, because she was like, yo, I'm about to bring what's pretend. I'm about to bring it to the real world. And she's like, and not in the future right now. Right now, I want
right.
Right now, I need to see people who look like me right now. Right now, and NASA right now.
Yep.
You know,
That's
and
right.
they were like, okay, because she was forceful. You know, she knew her stuff, and she was like, "This is what I stand for, and I'm going to be loud about it. I'm going to be loud and proud." And I heard her story from the doc and her documentary.
Oh, it's so good, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I just was like, I felt almost like catatonic after it. 'Cause I said, oh, I got work to do.
Don't we all?
It's so cool to hear you talk about that, because I was thinking, because I watch you at different things, and I remember when you were up on stage receiving an award with the other members of like Trek. It was like all these multi-generations of Trek, and then they presented you and they were like, here's the new Trek and stuff. And, and you were so gracious and so wonderful. And I said, this woman is really Nichelle's legacy right here. I was like, how lucky are we to have her as an ambassador for Trek? The way going back to the beginning of what we were talking about, it's your heart that you lead with that endears us to you, that you're so genuine with people and about the things that you believe in, how you behave as a human being. It's just exactly what we need, and I think that you are the best type of ambassador, and I really see you as taking that mantle from Nichelle, carrying that on. I mean, I see a direct correlation between you two, it's beautiful. And we got you, we see you and we got you.
You were a wonderful, fantastic leader.
Oh my gosh. Anson was like,
Anson was like singing your praises.
Gushing. He was gushing.
Oh my God. And Jane Brooke also, she was singing, they were like, Sonequa, he said, she's the best. Yeah. And Jane said the same thing. Jane Brooke said the same thing about you.
Oh my goodness,
y'all. The Hagerman brothers.
I cried, didn't I? It's like the third or fourth time y'all cried.
Also, the Hagerman brothers, we just talked to them, and they were saying how much you remind them of their sister. So I mean, you're always in our conversations.
Yes,
yes, girl.
I mean, we just had this conversation. We just, it was like the beginning. I don't even know if we aired that, but they were talking about how you remind them of their sisters because you just bring joy, Sonequa just brings joy, and their sister's a dancer and she's like, joy, just joy. So you're always in our conversation. So
yeah. And we know, and they say that it's genuine. It's not a put on, it's genuine from the heart. So thank you for being that ambassador also.
Making your parents proud. Yes, you are.
That's right.
Definitely. That's what we're supposed to do, right?
That's right.
Well, we made Sonequa cry, so I feel like our work here is done.
Sorry.
Oh, and snort. Oh my God. Whoa.
That's when you know you're having a good time.
Yes.
Hanging.
Oh, ladies, I thank you so much. This was such a blessing.
Thank you.
Do you know if you're going to be on the cruise or in Vegas? Do you have any idea about those two venues?
I'm not going to be at the cruise. I thought I was going to make it, but I'm not going to. But I am going to be. Vegas is June? August. Yes. Mm-hmm. As of now, I'm going to be. I am going to be in Vegas. Okay. The only reason I wouldn't be is if we start shooting.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I'm not sure when we go back for season 6. God willing and everything. Okay. But I am gonna. It is on the plan now, or it is in the plan now. And then there's another one in February that I just said yes to like 3 nights ago, and I can't remember it, but I hope that we can like formally connect at some point, because it is all about that linking. I keep going back to that, right? Is the linked arms, because we even we give each other. It's not just that support and encouragement, but we also give each other ideas.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And because I would love to talk to y'all more about ideas on how to give and serve our community, right?
Mhm.
Like I brainstorm all the time, but I would love to talk to you like-minded women that I can look to. I can look to all of you. Because of what you've done and because of how you stand, So I don't know, maybe we can connect again soon somehow.
We would love that.
Yes, we would love it. Anytime.
We might be open to that. We just might.
I just snorted again. I gotta get y'all to set. If I could get y'all to set, would you come?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I would drop everything.
I mean Canada.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it matter where?
I'm gonna say the same thing I said to Anson. Don't play.
Don't.
So we will roll. We will get in the car.
No. All right. Done. I'm gonna see about it.
He is a delight. Yeah.
But he's another one that I really got lost in the story with.
Mm-hmm.
It's a special kind of thing. I'm grateful to get lost with everybody that everybody that's on Discovery. There's that quality with everybody. Me and Wilson, me and Anthony, me and Doug. There's that we are lost in this together. That's really that's the good stuff. That's the juice.
Yeah. I think
but,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go to me.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that I love the Discovery crew, and I might have, it has been said that Tamia might have a critique here or there.
You should.
We all do.
Yeah, I'm an opinionated gal, but one thing I never have a critique of is this crew. I mean, it's not once, not ever. You all are bringing it. You bring it all the time. The chemistry between you all is so palpable, that we just love getting wrapped up into your characters. I'd say, if I could tell them one more thing, is just give me more story of let me know these characters now, I still want to know these characters, and, because I'm thirsting for them, but I love you guys. We love you. We love you.
Thank you. I hear that too. I also have critiques. I be on the ground okay. Are we ready? All right. But anyway,
you have been
so much
generous
with
your
y'all.
time. Yeah, thank you so much. And much love to your family.
Yes.
Mad love to your family. And thank you so much for taking some time from them to spend with us. It's we really, really appreciate it so much.
Appreciate that.
Well, thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for being so patient with me also. And thank you for having me. This was a joy. Speaking of joy, this was a joy. Y'all are a joy.
Thank you.
Y'all really are. You're a joy.
Have us crying now. We gonna.
I know, right?
I know.
Well, when y'all said I was y'all's, I don't know how I came back from that. Because that spoke to me. That spoke deep down in my. You know what I'm saying? Like that was old. Y'all touched something old.
Before we break out of here, Yvette, can you let folks know where to get in touch with us if they too got caught up in the fields and everything like we did?
I sure can. You can find us at sci-fisistas.com. That's SYFYSISTAS.com. Join us on the mothership. That's MUTHASHIP. And the Sci-Fi Sisters Book Club, both on Facebook. Download the Trek Geeks Network app, where you can find us and our family of podcasts on the Trek Geeks Network. On Instagram and TikTok, sci-fi.sisters. And we are also on the Twitter at Sci-Fi Sisters. Become a patron of Sci-Fi Sistas today at patreon.com/Sci-Fi Sistas. After listening to this podcast, please rate us and write a review. We may just read it on an upcoming episode.
And of course, we got to give a shout out to the baddest engineer in any universe or galaxy. That's Dose the Anonymous One. He's responsible for all the music you hear on our show and our production services. So if you need production services, hit him up at dose_the_anonymous_1 on Instagram. We love you, good peoples. We love you so much. Thank you for listening, and peace, love, and hair grease.